Welcome to Headstones and Microphones, where we use AI to step into the past through a researched, first-person simulation of history's most interesting people. I am your host, Calvin. While we've added some creative storytelling, our goal is to inspire your own study of these fascinating lives. Now, let's meet our guest. We have a real legend in the booth today. For those who may somehow not know who you are, who are you?
I am Adam West. Most people know me as the man who wore the cape and cowl as Batman in the 1960s, but I've also spent quite a bit of time as the mayor of Quahog and a variety of other colorful characters over the years.
It's an honor, Adam. Let's start at the very beginning. When and where were you born?
I made my grand debut on September 19th, 1928, in a place called Walla Walla, Washington. It's a town so nice, they named it twice.
I love that. And what was your given name at birth?
I was born William West Anderson.
Is there a story behind your birth name or the name Adam West?
William West Anderson had a nice, solid ring to it for a farm boy, but when I got to Hollywood, I wanted something a bit more punchy. I took West from my middle name, which was my mother's maiden name, and paired it with Adam because I just liked the sound of it. It felt like a fresh start.
It definitely works for a leading man. What was your hometown like growing up?
It was a wonderful mix. I grew up in Walla Walla in Seattle. Part of my time was spent on a wheat farm about 20 miles outside of Walla Walla. It was quiet, hardworking, and grounded. But then I'd head to Seattle, where things were a bit more fast-paced. It gave me the best of both worlds, the dirt of the farm and the lights of the city.
That sounds like a great balance. What was your family life like?
It was quite a spectacle sometimes. My father, Otto, was a strong, kind wheat farmer, the salt of the earth. My mother, Audrey, was a pianist and an opera singer. She was beautiful and very headstrong. She used to host these incredible soirees, and my brother and I would hide on the stairs and listen to the likes of James Stewart and Alan Ladd laughing and singing in our living room. It was a very artistic household.
No wonder you caught the acting bug. What kind of kid were you?
I was a bit of a handful. I was a good athlete and eventually became class president, but I had my moments of mischief. I once borrowed the school bus to take some friends out on dates. Let's just say the school wasn't exactly thrilled about my unscheduled transportation service.
That is hilarious. What did you dream of becoming as a child?
Believe it or not, I was a massive comic book fan. I used to find caches of them in the old bunkhouse on the farm. Batman was actually one of my favorites when I was 10 years old. I loved how he was a mix of Sherlock Holmes and Zorro. I think deep down, I always wanted to be part of that world of storytelling.
It's like it was destiny. What were some of your favorite activities in school?
I was very involved in sports and the drama department. At Whitman College, I was a member of a fraternity and spent a lot of time on the speech and debate teams. That's really where I started to understand the power of my own voice.
And that voice is iconic. What was your first job?
Aside from helping out on the farm, my first real job in the industry was as a sidekick on a children's show in Hawaii called The Kini Popo Show. I performed alongside a chimpanzee. It was quite the education in show business and in primate behavior.
A chimpanzee co-star. That's tough to beat. What was your biggest break?
My big break in Hollywood came in 1959 when I landed a role in The Young Philadelphians, opposite Paul Newman. But of course, the real life changer was that Nestle's Quick commercial, where I played a James Bond-style spy. Producer William Dozier saw that and thought, "That's our Batman."
From chocolate milk to the Batcave. Were there any specific daily habits or routines that you feel were essential to your success?
I always believed in the power of a dry delivery and staying physically active. But honestly, the real secret was having a sense of humor about everything. You have to be able to laugh at the absurdity of show business. If you take yourself too seriously, you'll get buried in the mask, literally and figuratively.
That's great advice. What misconceptions did people have about you?
For a long time, people thought I was Batman. They expected me to be that stiff, heroic figure 24/7. They didn't realize I was playing it for laughs. I leaned into the camp because it was fun. It took a while for the world to realize I had a bit more of a wacky side, which I think they finally saw when I started doing Family Guy.
Who had the biggest influence on your life?
My mother, Audrey, definitely gave me that flair for the dramatic and the confidence to perform. But my third wife, Marcelle, was my rock. We were together from the early 70s onward, and she kept me grounded through all the ups and downs of the Batmania aftermath.
What were you working on in your career before you passed away?
I was busier than ever. I was doing a lot of voice work, especially as the mayor on Family Guy. I also got to return to the world of Batman in some wonderful animated films like Batman: Return of the Caped Crusaders. It was a joy to step back into those boots.
When and where did you pass away?
I said my final goodbye on June 9th, 2017, in Los Angeles. I was 88 years young.
What happened, if you don't mind us asking?
I had a brief but brave battle with leukemia. It was a short fight, and I was surrounded by my family.
You certainly left a massive legacy. What's a random fact about you most people have never heard?
While I was in Hawaii, I actually purchased a plane and learned to fly. I used to work as an island tour guide to make some extra money, so I really was a pilot before I ever flew the Batcopter.
That is incredible. What was your favorite food?
I've always had a soft spot for a good steak, but I must say, after living in the Northwest, I have a great appreciation for fresh, local flavors. Though there is a chef out there also named Adam West who makes a mean antelope dish. I might have to claim that one by name alone.
What advice would you give people chasing success?
Don't be afraid to take risks and pursue the unconventional. I took a role in a campy superhero show when others might have turned it down, and it defined my life. Also, always cultivate your own image. Be your own brand before that was even a phrase people used.
Adam, this has been an absolute blast. Do you have any closing remarks about our chat or the stories you shared that you would like to share with the listeners before we sign off?
Just that life is a marvelous adventure, Calvin. Whether you're a farm boy or a superhero, keep your sense of humor and always be ready for the next curveball.
From the Batcave to the big screen and beyond, what a journey. We talked about everything from borrowing school buses to the legendary Nestlé's quick commercial that started it all. A huge thank you to Adam West for joining us today. And that wraps up another conversation from Beyond the Grave. Thanks for joining us on the Headstones and Microphones podcast. Remember, legends may die, but their stories never do. Please help spread the word by sharing and following the pod.